Hey guys, I don't know what happened. It crashed. So I guess I'm just gonna repeat. I hope everyone gets back on. So we're gonna go over the four pieces again. The first part is the rules. The second part is know when your child is ready. The third part is having them design their own sleeping space. And then the fourth one is their bedtime pass. So the bedtime pass, what that entails is you can create like a little pass for your little one and say bedtime pass, and then what they would do is they would have to hand that into you when they're going to bed. So that will allow them to sleep at least one time in your bed, you know, during that week of the time frame, and that can help on. Thanks guys for joining back on. I don't know what happened. I got it just kicked me off. So I'm going back on and I'm just repeating the pieces on what we were just talking about. So let me know if you guys can see me, and if you could hear me, just type in something so at least I know. But I had to get rid of the hat because I wanted to get back on really quickly for you. Everything okay? I'll continue because I'm seeing that we're getting more people. Okay, cool. Okay, awesome, Jane. So the last part is the bedtime pass that I was mentioning. So what you can do is you can actually create a bedtime pass. So it's like, you know, like a little square rectangle piece. You write bedtime pass on it and you give it to your child. And once a week, what you can do is you can tell them, okay, you can sleep in our bed if you are bed sharing, and it's going to be easier for you to have the transition from the crib to the toddler bed, so your little one can still feel confident enough staying in their own toddler bed, but maybe like once a week that you can have them sleep in your bed if you want that to happen. So I've had families that did really well with that. So what we used is the bedtime pass. So your child will just hand you over the bedtime pass. They can sleep for that night, and then the rest of the week they stay in their own bed. So those are a couple of tips that I had for you today. I hope that they were informative for you, and the hat really cracked you guys up. So let me know if you have any questions. Today was my Talk to Me Tuesday. So this was one of the questions that I received, and I thought it was quite important to discuss because I do get asked this question often when parents, they do transition their little ones a little bit earlier. So like I mentioned, at 2 years old, and their child is not ready for the transition. So what happens is the parents would transition them a little too early because they think that once they throw their leg over the rail of the bed that they're ready to go into a toddler bed, but they're actually still too young for it, and they don't understand the difference between being in a crib and being in a toddler bed. So that's where the rules would come in. That's where understanding when your child is ready. That's when also using those two other pieces of helping them with allowing them to design their own sleeping space, and also the bedtime pass helps a lot too. So thanks guys for rejoining. I don't know what happened. I got kicked off, so I just signed back on, but I had to get rid of the hat because I wanted to get back on really quickly. So we're just going over the four pieces again. So just to repeat, it's understanding the rules. So your little one should understand the rules that you have in place for when you're transitioning from crib to toddler bed. Know when your little one is ready. So most parents think that their children are ready at 2, but make sure that they're mature enough and that they understand. And thanks, Leona. And then the third part is for your child to have the ability to design their own sleeping space. It's important for them because it's their space. So you can have them maybe pick out their sheets, like I mentioned, their covers, maybe a pillow, a special new stuffed animal that they might have. And the bedtime pass is something really cool that you can use as, you know, keeping in your back pocket. So do you guys have any questions for me? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to scroll up. I see that we have one. Rihanna says, my toddler is constantly moving around in his sleep. Anything I can do? So Rihanna, what do you mean by he's constantly moving in his sleep? Is he like sitting up, or is he just fidgety? Is he rolling around? It's normal for toddlers for you to place them in one space and then they're waking up all over, like, you know, on a completely different area of the bed. Is your toddler in a toddler bed, or is your toddler in the crib? So let me know so that I can answer you. Okay, so that's the only question that I have right now. I know, Leona, I think you had a question on the other thread before I got kicked off. So if you want, you can repeat that here, and then I'll be able to answer it. I don't know if you see this, but I got this cup made, and it says, "I love sleep. Teach my kid how." It's my favorite cup. So no questions? Rihanna, you don't have any questions? It's a shame that I got kicked off before, because I think that there were a couple of questions that I wanted to answer. Yeah, today's video is a little on the speedier side. It's a quick topic, but it is important on knowing when the proper time to transition your little one from crib to toddler bed. I hope that the tips that I gave you, you know, made sense, that you, it'll be easy for you to implement them too. So Miriam says, my daughter wakes up a lot and asks for milk and just sits in the bed. What can I do? So Miriam, how old is your little one? And is she in a toddler bed? Nick, I missed the part about the bedtime pass. How does that work? Okay, so a bedtime pass, it's like, you know, like a rectangle. You can literally cut it out on a sheet of paper, like construction paper, write bedtime pass on it, and you will have a couple with you. So once a week, you will tell your toddler that if you want to sleep in mommy and daddy's bed, you have to give us this pass, and you can only do it once a week. So you can pick the day when you do that, but it can only be one time. So that day, let's say it's Wednesday, they decide, oh, today is the day that I want to sleep in mommy and daddy's bed. What they do is they give you the pass, they hand it in, they sleep in the bed for that day, and then the rest of the week they have to sleep in their own bed. So that's what the bedtime pass is. It usually eliminates a lot of tantrums and any type of stress at night for toddlers when they are used to bed sharing and they're having a hard time to go back into their own crib. So at least that they know, oh, you know, mom and dad's bed is still open, it's still available. So I can, and it becomes a game when you hand in the pass. So I hope that answered your question. Hi, Tatiana. Thanks for joining. Miriam says, just turned 2, still in the crib. Okay, so Miriam, your daughter asks for milk a lot. So what I would do is I would structure it. Oh, you're welcome, Nick. I would structure the fact that if you're giving her milk, when are you going to give it to her? Not on a constant basis. You would want to structure it and make it maybe one time right before bedtime, but throughout the night is a no-go. Children over 9 months of age should not be fed at night. So if she does want water, you know, maybe like a sip of milk, that'll be okay, but I would do it right before bedtime, and then that's it, and call it a night for that. So if she is asking you pieces, it's just her way of trying to keep you a little bit longer. So what I would do is maybe emphasize a little bit more of bonding time with your daughter, because that's what she might most likely be needing more, as opposed to a beverage. So she's probably asking you for your attention, and one way that she's doing that is for asking for milk to do that. Hi, Yana. Thanks for joining. Let's see, are there any other questions? Okay. I'm not getting any more questions. I guess I'll hold on because I'm seeing that we're getting a couple more people. My pleasure, Miriam. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. I have my scheduler, my calendar on the link, and you can schedule a free introductory call with me, and we can, you know, chat about what your sleep story is, what your circumstances, and provide a solution for you based on your parental philosophy. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for joining. Oh, I haven't spoken to you in a while. So I'm getting more people, my oldies. I love everyone that's on here. And I'm sorry that I got kicked off before. It was a shame. But everyone that's joining on now, you should have seen the funky hat that I had. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. They have like a couple of different ones. So I'm having a really bad hair day today. Let's see if I can fix this. No, this isn't working. Okay, so does anyone have any other this is really bad. Does anyone have any other questions for me? Were the tips helpful? Let me know. You can give me a yes, maybe a couple of likes, so I know if I should add anything else to the chat. Come on, get interactive. Okay. Tatiana asked, my 2-year-old said to say, is in a toddler chair for bed, and that is where she is falling asleep. I know she not an infant, but how do I transition her from bed? Okay. How do you want to transition her to bed without the fuss? So I'm trying to understand. Tatiana, you're saying that your 2-year-old is in her rocking chair for bed, and that is where she falls asleep. So how do you transition her to the bed? Well, the main thing is when you're transitioning a child from one aspect to the next, you don't want to, I call it faking to sleep. So they need to be aware of their surroundings. If your little one is falling asleep in a specific space and then they wake up and they're not in that space anymore, they will freak out. And then that's when they want to go back to that same sleeping space. So what I would suggest you do is you would have to cut that cold turkey in where she is sleeping currently. And if your goal is for her to be sleeping in her own bed, you should start putting her in her own bed while she's awake, but you being part of the process. So I would sit with her by the bed, comfort her, and stay consistent with that. You don't want to start a process and not stick through with it till you start seeing your goals being achieved. So I would do it for at least 2 weeks by you sitting near the bed and cutting out that whole rocking chair business right away. There's no gradual version for it. Your main goal is staying consistent with what you need to do for your little one to be sleeping beautifully. So hi Alyssa, hi Steve, thanks for joining, guys. I'm loving this, more people. So Jane says that you're in the same boat as Tatiana. Yeah, so I hope that you guys I answered your question well for you and that you understand what to do. There's really no gradual version towards that. If you're holding a child and they're an infant or they are, let's say, a year old and you're rocking them, it's easier because there is a process to eliminate the rocking and going into sleeping in the bed. But if they're, let's say, in a rocking chair or if they need motion to help them fall asleep, there really is no easy way to do that when you're with an older toddler. The reason for that is because their behaviors are so ingrained that you really need to stay even more consistent when you're implementing a method. So choose a gradual approach, stay consistent with it, stick to it. If you do need help with putting a plan together and coming up with a gradual approach for yourself that you can stay consistent with, let me know. Sign up with me on my calendar so we can schedule something, and then we can figure this out together. So let's see who else. I'm just scrolling up. I want to make sure that I'm going to answer everyone's questions. Jane says she drinks her milk and falls asleep. We sit for 10 minutes and then put her in the crib, and she does cry it out. Also sometimes, and then eventually falls asleep, but it has thrown up in the past. Well, as long as she's falling asleep beautifully now, and so Jane, it seems as though you have a really good, solid plan, and it's working for you. So maybe if you want to talk offline with Tatiana and let her know what you are doing, that'll be kind of cool, just to brainstorm a little. But if you do have any questions regarding your approach, let me know, and then we could schedule something. Miriam says, my 4-year-old doesn't like to get to bed. I put them to sleep at 7, but she doesn't fall asleep until 10. What can I do to help her go to sleep? She just gets up and asking for random things like she's looking for. Okay, so Miriam, you are experiencing, I forgot what the term is called, but it's a lot of, not job checks, but a lot of components that your little one is just trying to stall and stretch out bedtime as much as possible. So what you would do in this case is, if you know that your little one, your daughter, is going to tell you, I need 5 books, I need milk, I need to go to the bathroom, I need you to tuck me in, I don't like that pillow, give me another pillow, and then just other types of things that she's going to start coming out at you, what you would want to do is to dictate to her what your sleep routine is. So for an example, you're going to tell her, we're going to read 1 book, I'm going to tuck you in 1 time, I'm going to give you some milk 1 time, and then you're going to go to sleep. And I'm going to give you a kiss once, and I'm going to tuck you in and say sweet dreams. So you have to do those pieces, not all of them in a row, but when you're talking to your little one, you have to dictate literally what you're going to be doing during that time, and say how many times you're going to do it. So if you're going to read 2 books, you say, I'm going to read 2 books. When you're done with 1 book, you're going to say, this is the 2nd book, and then I'm going to finish with the books. Then the next part in our routine is to, tuck you in, and I'm going to tuck you in 1 time. But your goal is, guys, you have to understand that with toddlers, it's not going to be a one-hit wonder. It has to stay a consistency, and you have to do it for at least 2 weeks to stay on a consistent flow. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times is not going to cut it, especially with toddlers, because they really look for adults as your superheroes. Mom and dad are superheroes to them, so they look for you for guidance. And if they see that one night you don't mean what you say, then they don't see a point in why that they need to stay consistent with what you are asking of them. So that's something really important, is whatever you're going to instill during the bedtime, whatever rules you implement, you have to stay consistent. You have to give them a straight story. You can't give mixed signals during the nighttime. That's just a no-no, and it's not going to work for you then. Let's see what else. Alyssa. So, hold on. Sorry. Alyssa says, hi, my 2.5-year-old wants me to stay with her as she falls asleep in her bed, but lately she wants me to tickle or rub her leg. It wasn't a problem, but lately she's taking forever to go to sleep. How do I stop this bad habit? How do I teach her to go to bed like a big girl and not have me sit with her in the room? So what you would do, Alyssa, is you would just tell your little one that I will tickle you 1 time. Again, I'm repeating the pieces. Oh, wow, my hair is so bad. What you would want to do is just tell her that I'm going to tickle you 1 time, and then mommy has to go to bed. It's something along the lines of saying that you're doing like a job check. So for an example, what I mean by job check is you going to go to the kitchen, maybe wash the dishes, tell your daughter that you have to go to the bathroom. Everybody has to go to the bathroom at a certain point, so you can tell her, I'm going to tickle you, I'm going to rub your back 1 time, and then mommy has to go to the bathroom. And then I'll come back, I'll check on you, and then we are going to go to bed because I have to go to bed too. So once you do that, what happens is, and I do this with my son too, so how it would look like is you give her like a little massage, then you tell her mommy has to go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. When you leave, 99% of the time, she's still going to be waiting up for you because you told her you're going to come back and check on her. Your goal is, after you use the bathroom or you step out of the room, you come back and you tell her, see, mommy's here, sweet dreams, sweetheart, give her a kiss, tuck her in. She should feel much better because you did what you told her you were going to do. You were going to come back, and then you can go and maybe go to sleep yourself, or do whatever else that you have to do during that time frame. But your main goal is when you are placing her down, that you are telling her how many times you're going to, either tickle her once, twice, you're going to rub her back once, twice. So usually it's like one time, and then you do a job check. So you tell her you're going to go call daddy, or you have to call someone, or you have to go to the bathroom, or you have to go clean up something, but you're going to come back in a couple of minutes and you're going to check on her. Now make sure that you do come back, because a huge percentage is that she's actually going to be waiting for you, and if you don't come back, she's going to get really pissed off, and then next time you try that, it'll backfire, it won't work with you. So understand that you need to stay consistent, and you need to give a straight story to your little ones, especially with toddlers, because they really grasp onto your words for dear life, and they really hold you to it, to whatever you say. Hi Kim, thanks for joining. So I think, are there any more questions that you guys have? Let's see what time it is. Okay, so we're making good timing. So I think that that's it for tonight. And tomorrow, if you have any specific topics that you would like for me to talk about, let me know. You can comment below, or you could message me, you could email me. We can schedule a chat. If you feel maybe that there was a question that you did want to ask, but you were a little shy on the thread, feel free to PM me. I don't bite. Or just schedule a call with me. I have my calendar on. So thank you so much for the likes, everyone. Thank you for the love that you share. Oh, my pleasure, Tatiana. And I'm so sorry that I got kicked off earlier. I don't know what happened, but I think next time I'll try and restart my phone so it doesn't happen again. And for those of you that didn't see my funky hat that I had on before, I'll try and put that on tomorrow. So we're going to see each other every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 10 p.m. on this Facebook group, facebook.com/Achieve with Carolina. So every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 10 p.m. Make sure to tell your friends. Every day is going to be a different topic. Bring people with you, and we're going to share the video. Make sure that we can keep the conversation going. So if there is at any point you do feel that you have a question that you forgot to ask on the thread, either you can comment. For anyone that is watching the replay, I love all my viewers for my replays. You can comment and I will respond to any type of questions that you have later on afterwards. Hi Alex, thanks for joining. So sweet dreams everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.